we are now deep into 2025. So I thought it would be a good idea to take a look at what has been trending into the 2025 wedding year and what is going to be hot moving into the next 12 months for your special wedding day. First of all, we're going to take a look at what some industry leaders like the Knot have said is going to happen in the 2025 wedding trends. I also did a poll on Instagram where I allowed you guys to vote about what you think is a cool idea and what you like going into the 2025 year. And then lastly, I'm going to put together some of my own predictions based on what I've seen over the last little bit in my own wedding photography business. So let's kick things off with the Knot. I've got my phone open here next to me, and we're going to be scrolling through some of these that I think are a really nice idea, or some of them that I feel like are going to have a really big impact on this year. First one here that they have that I really like is the aesthetic dress codes. So what they're speaking about here is not just what the wedding party, the brides or grooms are wearing, but rather about what the guests are wearing. Now, we all know that on wedding days, your guests have a set attire that they need to wear, but we are getting a little bit more specific into 2025, and people are using the guest attire as part of the attraction for the day. Now, what they mean by that is you can tell your guests to wear specific colors, tell them to wear specific themes, so that they actually become part of the decor for your wedding day. I think this idea is pretty cool. We've touched with it a little bit over the last few years, but it's really starting to become popular leading into 2025. Next level photo and video experiences. Now, this one's particularly important to me as a photo and film hybrid shooter. I cover both of these on a wedding day, and we've seen people expand on this quite a lot. There are more and more hybrid shooters coming, but people are starting to include things like Polaroid cameras, disposable film cameras, and unique styles of capturing a photo and video. I think we're going to have more of this leading into 2025 as people want to show and more of their weddings on social media. People want something that stands out, they want something that's unique and something that is special and something that's going to grab a lot of attention too. Someone who does this really well, and she actually made such a funny TikTok about it a little while ago, is Trip Photo, just making sure that I got the account name correct. So she posted a video, and I'll put it up on the screen here. She had her dual camera harness that had 2 or more cameras on it. She, I think, had like a Polaroid attached to her as well, a film camera, a disposable camera, and I think she had about 5 or 6 cameras attached to her on a wedding day. You said that's how she often does shoot a wedding day. Now, this is something that perhaps most people aren't going to be going to that extent for, but it does share a kind of idea about what people are looking for into 2025, and also just how people can have unique style of coverage from a single photographer or a single photography team. Okay, the next one that I like and that is becoming very, very popular, if not the most popular trend for 2025, is the full suite of wedding attire. So people are no longer just wearing a single outfit throughout the day, and by this I mean the brides and grooms. Often they have 2 or 3 outfit changes throughout the day. So they definitely can have options for like a party dress or like a bit more of like a casual kind of dress down suit. Some people then go and change specifically for the portrait session as well, just so that they can have plenty of variety in the gallery, and also during the more festive dancing parts of the day, they can have a little bit more movement. They can really dance up a storm and perhaps not be worried about trashing their expensive dress or expensive suit. Okay, so next up, we're going to take a look at Instagram. I did a poll a little while ago asking you about what you think is going to be hot in 2025. I gave a couple options and then people voted accordingly. So the first one was dramatic draping. Now, this one was quite an even split. People said that they absolutely loved it, but people also said that they would rather just remove all draping entirely. Now, I will say that some venues actually require draping, not just in terms of the venue policies, but also just in terms of general acoustics, or perhaps to hide a slightly ugly ceiling or something like that. But now, as an absolute aesthetic, a lot of people are trending towards this in 2025, and I think we'll start seeing more of it into this year and then the next year after that too. Okay, table decor, and by this I mean specifically the change from more flower-based table decor or centerpieces towards more candlelit scenes. So flowers have obviously been a staple at weddings, and I think they will continue to be for basically forever. But people are starting to incorporate more candle-style centerpieces and decor on their tables because it does have more of like an elegant, formal, luxury kind of feel to it. I think overall, as an aesthetic and as a vibe, people are starting to trend towards the more minimalist, kind of old money, luxury kind of style. And that's not for everyone, but we are seeing a lot more of it going into this year. Now, there was probably a 2/3 split here. More people were saying candles, So about 62% of people said candles and 38% of people said flowers. Now, I've seen people kind of do a little bit of both of this. I would suggest doing it sparingly. It is a little bit difficult to get that tastefully done, but that's exactly why you would get your florist or one of your other decor vendors to help you out. Table length. Okay, this one I think does have a lot of personal preference in it, but the trend is definitely moving towards long tables. Now, we saw this in the Knots predictions as well. They had serpentine tables, so those are like a waving kind of tables. Not the most practical, but definitely a cool look. And I think long tables are a really nice way on just getting all your guests to feel like they're all mingling together. Naturally, you are stuck to just talking to the people that are in your immediate surrounds, but it's a nice way to have a cool aesthetic and to create a little bit more space in your wedding venue if you want like a nice big dance floor. 35% of people said short tables, and we had 65% say long tables. Now, I haven't mentioned round tables here. I think those are definitely in the outs in terms of trends. But the more rectangular style tables are what's going to be hot this year, and particularly the longer rectangular tables. Okay, mix match bridesmaid outfits. This has also been a big trend. I think it started off perhaps towards the tail end of 2023 was when it really starts to get big, and it's only getting bigger now in 2025. So what a lot of people do is they have a similar kind of, or a set color, and then each bridesmaid can have a separate tone or a slightly similar tone to each other, but it all looks slightly different. Now, people often pair this with having slightly different styles for the dresses too. So we don't have a uniform style, we don't have uniform tones, but it is a very similar kind of style and tone between all of them, and it creates a nice, fun aesthetic. And I think it also allows the dresses to suit everyone's skin tones and body types as well. Now, this one was a little bit of a landslide. So 75% of people said that they absolutely love the idea. 25% said that people should all be wearing the same dress, the same color in terms of the bridal party. And next up, we already spoke about this, but it is such a hot topic that I think we needed to speak about it again. So outfit change into a party dress or party outfits. So 58% of people actually said that one dress is expensive enough. So they are not going to be doing any outfit changes, which is still pretty cool. But 42% of people said that they wanted an outfit change and wanted perhaps a party dress or party outfit, just to create variety in the gallery, but also to allow them to really rip it up on the dance floor. Okay, so those were some of the main ones that we discussed on my Instagram account. I would like to run over to our last section that we're going to speak about today, which is some of my predictions that we haven't yet covered. Okay, so let's now take a look at some of my predictions that I've seen the trends flowing from 2024 leading into 2025. And we're going to start it off with just more natural greens. Now, this was huge last year, and it mainly takes a look at the way that photographers edit their photos, in that they have a more true-to-life color scheme, and it just looks a little bit more timeless. You aren't going to see the intense sepia look, the super warm golden look as much as you used to. We're seeing a lot less super vibrant or super dull editing styles, and a lot more true-to-life color. Now, I think this is partially because people really like the idea of iPhone content. And we're going to talk a little bit about content creators in a moment, but people want that really natural kind of snapshot looking style, and it just happens to be a lot more timeless, and it's not going to date your photos. Now, the Knot also mentioned about how some people are including more natural greens in their decor. I think this is a fantastic look. I think we're definitely going to see more of it into this year, but having more natural green foliage, choosing venues that have immaculate green lawns or really nice green trees. We are seeing a lot more of that, and these venues are becoming a lot more popular into 2025. Okay, next up, we are going to talk about content creators. Now, this is nothing new. We've seen them coming into the wedding space more and more over the last 2 years or so, but I think a lot more photo and video teams are offering content creation as well. A very quick recap, content creation is usually a vendor who captures behind the scenes content, usually on a phone. So this creates a really nice gallery of more like real moments. It's not as curated and perfect as what photo video coverage would be, but one of the big positives is that it's easily shareable on social media, and usually you can get those photos and clips delivered to you within 24 hours, and then that is the full delivery of the content creator. So a very cool vendor. I think a lot more photo and video teams are offering this in-house, so you don't need to spend money on an extra vendor coming in. But as a whole, we are seeing a lot more content creators in the space, and I'm all for it. I think it's fantastic. Now, the next one is possibly a little bit more subtle. More and more engaged couples are finding their wedding photographers or videographers on TikTok or Instagram. I think we are slowly starting to phase out the more old school ways of people finding you on a website. So, with more of our clients being available on social media and being engaged on social media, we are going to see a lot more social media trends coming into weddings as well. What I mean by this is obviously we're going to see aesthetic trends that come from these platforms, but we are going to see a lot more actual social media trends in terms of specific videos. So a little while ago, it was quite popular to have like a little burst gallery of all the guests wearing a specific set of glasses with the dates and names of the couple typexed onto them. And then they would like loop them all together into like a very quick reel or TikTok. So that is an example of one trend that has been popular in the past, but we're going to see more things along those lines going into 2025. So I think this is going to be so fast moving. So we'll see a lot more specific ones come up, but I'm expecting to see a lot more of this style of content. And the last thing is we're going to see more weddings in general. So some of you may be familiar with what we call the wedding gap. Now, I know it's a couple of years ago, but when we had the big COVID shutdown, a lot of people weren't going out and meeting new people. And now that it's been about 4 years, they've had time to go and meet someone outside of lockdown. They've had time to get engaged and they've had time to go and plan a wedding now. So 2024, 2025, we're seeing a lot more weddings happen, whereas in about 2023, we had a bit of a downtime, and that also did move into the beginning half of 2024 as well. We're definitely seeing a lot more influx of new couples come in. We've seen a lot more weddings booked, and with that becomes an opportunity for more trends to develop and just more variation and progression in the industry. So if you feel like I missed out anything, please put it in a comment below and I'll be taking a look and answering every comment that appears there. And I'll just love to hear what your thoughts are about the 2025 trends. And I look forward to sharing more incredible wedding info for you in the next video.